fans. So I want to be doing these a lot more, so I'm just going to give this a chance, see how it goes. I should probably do it from the other camera, right? Let's look at all these little buttons do. Okay, so that's for highlights. And I just want to talk about horror movies right now because I did a poll just recently. Well, I did like a question on the community post, and I was just asking, what's the best horror movie of 2024? Because we're pretty much towards the end of 2024. Spooky season just ended, and we're on to the holidays. Now, that doesn't mean that the horror is ending because we do have Nosferatu still coming out at the end of the year, which Christmas Day is almost right around the corner, and that's when Nosferatu will be releasing, which I'm still holding out. I did make a video already saying what's my favorite horror movie of the year so far, and I just completely forgot Nosferatu was still coming out because I don't know why I thought it was coming out next year for some reason. I just get all of these dates jumbled up, but I'm still wondering what is the best horror movie of 2024. And 2024 has been a great year for horror, like I said in that video where I talked about my favorite horror movies so far. I almost was talking a little bit too fast, but the year started off pretty good. So let's pull up a list right here, and hopefully I think this video should save as a video so people can rewatch it later on. But let's get into a list right here, because the first horror movie I remember seeing this year was definitely Late Night with the Devil, which I saw around March, I believe. That's when I first saw that one. And Late Night with the Devil really surprised me a lot, and especially a movie that I was already excited for, hearing a lot about it the year prior when it was making the festival runs and all of that. And David Dastmalchian in here was just great. Always love to see David Dastmalchian. He just does amazing work, honestly. And I'm excited for that new movie that just got announced where him and Kate Siegel will be a couple that is trying to save their daughter after a zombie apocalypse, which is also being, I believe, produced by Mike Flanagan. So I'm excited about that one. But that was definitely one of the first horror movies we got to kick us off into 2024, which I thought was just great. And since then, we've been getting a pretty good amount of them as well that are pretty good. So let's see if we can start a poll or something. I'm just trying to figure out how to do all of this right now. Okay, so I'm trying to figure this all out. Okay. I thought I was able to put a green screen or something so I can talk about the horror movies and show them as well. But also this year we got Oddity, which somebody reminded me about, and I was just like, that movie was so overlooked, honestly. And it is probably one of the eeriest movies I've seen this year that came out in 2024. Oddity was great, honestly, and that movie really surprised me watching it at home. I imagine seeing that in the theater would have been a whole other experience as well. And I think that Oddity definitely has one of my favorite scares as well. Really got me. I won't give it away because I think it's just a movie to check out if you haven't already, which is Oddity. One of those movies that just really gets to you. Other people were talking about The Substance, and I didn't even talk about The Substance in my horror video I did because I don't know, for me it did have horror aspects to it, but I just didn't really think about putting it there as a horror movie. But I do want to watch it again because I haven't watched it since I watched it in the theaters, so I do want to watch it now that it's streaming on movie for sure. Another movie I also forgot about that I enjoyed was A Quiet Place Day One, which I thought was so good, honestly. Like, that movie really surprised me. I wasn't a huge fan of The Quiet Place 2. I thought that one was okay. But I was just like, okay, let's see what they want to do with Day One, right? And I was very surprised with that one. I really loved that film, just seeing how everything started as well. Longlegs was one of those movies we just talked about a lot on this channel. If you were subscribed or you found the channel during the summer, we went through Longlegs like crazy, just talking about the ARG part about it, the website. If you looked into the ARG and everything, there was some fascinating stuff, and I was just like, I need to learn everything about Longlegs I can before watching the movie. And I don't know if that's why it became one of my favorite movies of the year, just because there was so much lore to invest in and to talk about, and we were just having a ton of fun on the channel going over everything that we were finding from the website. Clues were dropping, we were going on the subreddit, we were trying to figure everything out before the movie, and I really love that. I wish more horror movies and movies in general took advantage of ARG and the internet and just gave us a lot of content like that. And I definitely want to see more movies in the future do that for sure. So fingers crossed. Abigail was another movie that came out as well that I almost completely forgot about. The thing with Abigail, I know a lot of people have this sort of like thing where it's like, would have the movie been as good as we didn't know like the whole thing about it from the trailer, right? If you see the trailer. And I don't want to give spoilers in this video for sure about movies and all of that. So I'm just talking very vaguely about them, vaguely. I should use a mic next time, but my mic is charging right now. So next time I will use a mic for sure, because I don't want it to be the sound too weird. In a Violent Nature was another movie that we watched very early on this year, and that's a movie that's gotten so many mixed receptions out there. And I will tell you, I was in the middle with it. I definitely love aspects of it, and then there's some aspects I'm not too fond of, right? And there's a new movie that's coming out from Steven Soderbergh next year, which is called Presence, that people are saying is the cousin to In a Violent Nature. Because in Presence, it's a family and they're in their home and it's haunted. And the perspective of the movie is the ghost. And I'm assuming it's quiet like In a Violent Nature, right? But you see the family drama and everything, and apparently that's how it goes. I'm going to be talking about it in the video I'm doing today, actually, and talking about some other movie news, so stay tuned for that. But I'm excited for that movie because it looks interesting, and I'm excited to see directors take these bold approaches, even if they don't work for me. Like In a Violent Nature, it just didn't work as best as I wanted it to. I watched it twice already, once in the theater, once at home, and I liked it a little bit more when I was able to watch it at home, but I don't know. It just wasn't all the way there for me. Another movie also this year, Alien Romulus, caused a bit of a storm out there. A lot of people didn't really vibe with it. A lot of people weren't too big fans of it due to certain decisions. But I myself, I can understand all of that. I know that the decision to bring a certain actor back and all of that through technology and all of that definitely was, I don't think, the right approach. But I think by that third act, Feta showed us that he's able to do something different and could give us something that's exciting as well. Thank you for everybody tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, or if you're just finding this, go ahead and subscribe. We talk movies and stuff like that, especially horror movies. We got a ton of videos coming, so appreciate each and every one of you listening to me right now. We're just talking about horror movies in 2024. I'm just going through the list of some of the movies I watched, talking a little bit about it. I am planning a big video for every single horror movie I watch, so stay tuned for that. And on that note, I have not watched Beetlejuice. I still need to get around to that one for sure. So I definitely will be trying. I don't even know if it's in theaters anymore. I'll probably have to wait for streaming for that one. Terrifier 3. That is a movie I watched at Fantastic Fest, and I will tell you, that movie really got me on the Art the Clown train. I wasn't the biggest fan of Terrifier 1. I thought that there was aspects in it that are amazing, from the practical effects and all of that as well, and Art the Clown's design. And then Terrifier 2, I was okay with it. I really love a lot of what they do there, the decisions Damien Leone does, as well as adding Lauren Lavera as our final girl. I thought those were brilliant, but I still thought it was a bit too long, in my opinion. Now, Terrifier 3 takes all the things I loved about Terrifier 1, all the things I loved about Terrifier 2, and mashes them together into my favorite movie of the franchise. Let me know what y'all think about that one right there. I don't know if y'all can comment on this. I'm trying vertical lives for the first time. I usually do them like for my computer. I'm doing it from my phone, so hopefully the audio is not as bad, right? But I'm excited to see what they want to do with Terrifier 4 for sure. Handling the Undead was a movie I watched early this year as well, and this is a movie that I will just say might not be for everyone, just in the same manner that In a Violent Nature is so quiet and so serene. This one as well, it is one of those movies that I think you have to be in the headspace for it. It is a movie that is very slow, it is methodical, and it takes its time. If you like those movies like that and a zombie movie with it, then Handling the Undead is for you. And if you don't like those movies that are very slow and methodical, it's not it, and that's totally okay. But I just always want to paraphrase what I think about the movies. Maxine was a movie that I was so looking forward to for the whole year, honestly. I liked Pearl. I liked X more than Pearl after a rewatch of X this year, when I went to a thing where they were showing a special clip of Maxine. And I was very excited for Maxine going into it, but there's just some aspects of it that didn't really work for me. I felt like it was trying to do a lot of things, and then it wanted to wrap up so quickly by the end that I just felt that by the end, it didn't get anywhere that it wanted to. But I am going to give it a rewatch. I haven't watched it since I watched it in theaters over the summer, but I will give it a rewatch, so stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll do another video on it. Exuma, this is a Korean film that I actually got the chance to watch over the summer, and I was surprised by this one a lot. A lot of this movie is reminding me of The Wailing, another great Korean horror film if you haven't watched it yet. But at the same time, it's doing its own thing, and it really does dive into some very interesting lore about Korea and Japan and things like that. And I definitely do recommend it if you love films like The Wailing. This is a movie that is definitely one that I think got overlooked a lot. So let's see what else we got here on the list. So everybody tuning in, we're just talking about horror movies in 2024. I'm going through a list of them. I'm trying out the new YouTube live stream, but I am going to be doing a whole video for every horror movie I've watched as well. But we're just trying this out. I don't know if y'all can comment because I don't see where I could even see the comments here. So I don't know, maybe that might be a thing I don't like about this, because I usually like when people are able to comment for sure as well. Let's see if I can even see if there's a chat or anything going on. I just see like there's like filters or something like that. Okay, so I don't know actually. I'm just pressing stuff. Okay, so let's see if we can start a poll. Let's see, was 2024 a good year for horror? Let's see if we can do that. Let's see how this works. We're just trying out different things here. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So we're gonna put this poll and let's see what y'all think. Okay, so where would I see the poll? Where would I see this? Okay, so I think it's up there if y'all want to try and vote and see how this works, right? Okay, so moving on, we do have the film, let's see, Immaculate. Immaculate was a movie I was very excited for. It was a movie that I thought was such a very interesting concept. I watched it at South by Southwest, and I will tell you, Immaculate really caught me by surprise. Sydney Sweeney did an amazing job in this. I do think that sometimes in the beginning and the middle of the film, it's lacking, but that third act is just one of the most incredible third acts I've seen all year, and it definitely was one of those movies that I would say really catapulted Sydney Sweeney as such a great actress in the genre, and I'm excited to see what else she does later on down the road. I know she's doing a ton of other projects already, so we'll see what it will entail. But Sma 2 was one of the more recent horror films I watched, and a movie that really, I wasn't the biggest fan going into the first Smile. I just thought it was gonna be like a whatever movie, and I immediately came out loving that film, and I was excited for Smile 2, but I just didn't know what they were gonna do with Smile 2, and I was worried that this was just a quick cash grab, right? Because the other film was so successful and one of the best return on investments for the studio in 2022. I believe that's when it came out. So I was excited for it, but I was also hesitant. But Smile 2 really blew me away. Naomi Scott is great, and I'm excited to see what Parker Finn does next with whatever he's doing. If he's doing the Possession remake first or Smile 3, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm there. And then we also have my favorite horror movie so far, which is The First Omen. I just really love Neil Tiger's performance in The First Omen. I really do love religious horror as well. There's just something about it, the way it's done, and Arkasha Stevenson's vision in The First Omen was just so brilliant, and I'm excited what she does next. But I am going to be cutting this one now. This video is short. I am trying to finish up a news video I want to drop by tonight on some awesome news that dropped in horror. So that's coming out tonight. So if you're watching this, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Thank you for coming out. This is the first live of many we're going to be doing. We'll probably do another live this weekend or tonight maybe, but it's going to be more of the traditional live, not the vertical live. So stay tuned for that. We're just experimenting. So anyways, appreciate you. Love ya. Have a good